Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Web Dev Speak. This week we're going to cover everything you need to know about links. Well, most everything. So internal links, the links that are on your website, serve a variety of purposes. The biggest one is to allow people to navigate to different pages of your website. It's pretty simple. They take you from one page of that domain to another page, letting your customer dig deeper into what you do and how you can help them. Now, a lot of those internal links are pretty common in your main navigation. They help you navigate through the website. They establish that information hierarchy for your website. And importantly, they help Google and other search engines crawl through your website and help pass the SEO value of your homepage around other pages on your website. So let's take a really quick look at some common links that you would see on a website. So as you can see here, your main navigation is here. All of these links are just taking you to other pages throughout my website. I want them to be really easy to find, so they travel with you down the page as well. Now, if you scroll down, you can see another type of link, which is just a button. This takes you into a different page of my website. It takes you into my WordPress websites page. But that button is there to help you link through my website. And as you scroll down, you also have funnels. Now, not every funnel is going to be like this, but these include links to take you to the main features, my main services website. All of these links are just really here to help a user dig deeper. That's all they're really there to do. But you want to tell a consistent story with your links. So you can see that all of the buttons on my website are the same color. That way, when you scroll and you see that color, you know that that is a link. You can also tell that I have a very similar rollover effect for every single button on my website. That tells me when I hit that it's going to go somewhere. You can see there's more links here in the footer and my navigation down here. I don't really have any other additional pages, but they're here in the footer just to make it easy for them to find later on. So, when do you create a link? Well, obviously, like I showed you there, the main reasons you would have a link in your website is for navigation. You want people to be able to go through. So you're going to have a main menu and a footer menu. And sometimes that footer menu is going to have more links in it than your main navigation. Your main navigation should really be reserved for your top 5 to 7 pages. And then you have your footer navigation where people are used to finding some more of those sub-level pages as well. It just makes it really simple and easy for people to find the pages they're looking for. But it's also important to include internal links in your copy of your website. So what does that do? How does that help us? That link tells Google what the page that you're sending someone to is about. So let's take another look at an example of an internal link. If you come here to my About page, I have some good information here. And then I have highlighted blue, a link here, I code your website. Now that link tells Google that that page is about how I code a website. It's really important for me to have links like that throughout my copy because it helps tell Google what my site and what those pages are about. If you go to my blog, for instance, I have another internal link here of a website developer that goes to my WordPress websites page. These internal links are vital to get people to click around, to go to other places throughout my website, and to discover more about me. But it's also vital to give Google and other search engines the ability to scroll through here and see, okay, these are some links that tell us what that page is about. So now that you kind of have a basic understanding of an internal link, it's really important to know how to build one right. Links are actually a very simple code, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to write straight HTML a link code. So We're going to start here with, it's called an A tag. And the simplest form of this code is this. Now, when we want to tell it where to go, we have what's called a href. And that's where I would put in a URL. So I'm just going to type in google.com for now. Now, if I'm putting this on my website and I'm taking it to another website, so I'm telling somebody who clicks on this that you're going to leave my page. One thing that you want to keep in mind is you want to keep people on your website. You don't want to lose them to that other page. So it's really important that you would add the target. I can type here, _blank. This target tag tells the browser to open this up in a new tab. So basically, they stay on your website, but they get to the information that you want them to get to without losing your website or having to hit the back button 3 times to find you again. They just have to go back to the tab. Now, here is where it's really important what you put between these. That's what's going to show up as that highlighted link, depending on your code on your website. You don't want to just type learn more. That tells Google and your user nothing about what that page that you're linking to is about. Instead, you want to be very descriptive in that link text. So if I'm sending them to Google, I'm going to tell them that this is a search engine. And I want to show you what it could look like in the context of a very simple sentence. And then we'd have something more there. But I'm telling them to go to Google, to open it in a new tab, and it's very important that this is descriptive of where I am sending them. I could also write Google's name in this case, but I want to tell them it's a search engine. One of the other reasons this is important is for accessibility purposes. So somebody that is using a screen reader to read the internet to them, that's basically what those do, they get told what that link is based off of this information. So you want to make sure it's descriptive so that because they can't see where to click, but then they know what they're going to be clicking on. So it's really important to keep that descriptive, not only for Google and SEO purposes, but also for accessibility. Now, how often are you going to be writing a link in your website like that? Maybe not a ton, but now, depending on who your website host is, you can go and add a link anywhere in your site very simply. Now I'm going to show you a couple tricks that you can do in WordPress. WordPress makes this a little bit easier and more visual, so you don't actually have to write the code, but I think it's really important to know a simple A tag so you can go double check to make sure everything there is correct. Now the first version I'm going to show you is the new WordPress Gutenberg block editor. It's not my favorite, but I think it's important for everybody to understand how to use it. So here we have the block editor. This is actually just a test site that I have to play around with Gutenberg because I don't use it myself a ton yet. So you can see here we have a heading, and then I have a simple content block. Now, I want to add a link to talk about web development. So I could come in here and highlight the text that I want to be the link. And then I'm simply going to type in my URL. You can copy and paste that as well. And then I'm going to, because I'm taking them off the website, I'm going to hit this open a new tab button. And then all I have to do to make that link appear is hit submit. And now, if I go hit update, I will see this link here. And you can see that it opens in a new tab. Now, if you want to see the code this generates, you can always click the Edit as HTML, and you can see it's just how we had it before, target equals blank. Now you can see it also added a couple other tags here. If you know and trust who you're linking to, and especially if you're linking to your own property, you don't necessarily need these, but it does help keep things a little bit more secure for those links. I'm going to switch back here to our visual block. If I wanted to remove that link, if I accidentally put that in the wrong spot, all I have to do is highlight it again and click unlink. Very simple, very straightforward. That's the Gutenberg WordPress editor. Now, it's very similar if you wanted to link it to a page in your website. So if you have a WordPress website with multiple pages, you would just start typing in, and it's going to find a page. And I have a sample page in here, and it's already there. Now, I'm putting this to another page in my website. I'm sending you to another page in this site. So I do not want to open it in a new tab because they're staying on my site. So if you look and see what that looks like, and how it opens to the same page, and it's just that sample page. Now, if you happen to use the classic editor like I do, because I use a couple different plugins for my site, I'm going to show you guys an actual live internal link in my site. So you can see here, I have a copy block. This is actually my WordPress websites page. And if I scroll down, I know that I've highlighted a WordPress expert and I've sent it to my About page because I want people to understand what I do. Now, all I have to do that is very, very similar. So say I wanted to send the custom coded website to somewhere else in my site. There is an insert edit link right here. And then even though I wouldn't want to link it here, we're going to, for argument's sake, we're going to send it to WordPress support. It's going to search. Then I have that there, and I can hit apply. And it creates that link. Now, if I want to make it open in a new tab, if I've used a different website that I'm sending somebody to, then you have to hit this link options and open link in new tab. It's a little clunky. I don't particularly love that setup because it takes a couple steps. But if you happen to have a theme with the classic editor, that's what it looks like. Okay, that's pretty much it. Creating a link in your website is really important to ensure that people can get through your website really easily. Now, there's a lot more that goes into creating buttons and navigation, which we'll get into in another episode. But for now, focus on creating those links throughout your site to take pieces of content and navigate people through to other pages of your site. Go through and reread your copy and find places that, you could say, this really kind of alludes to this, or this is a really good keyword or key phrase, and I want to link it to the page that it matches. Those internal links will do a lot to help your on-page SEO, but they're also going to do a lot to help your user experience. As always, drop any questions in the comments.